Hey guys, it's Alejandro Kolleeny here with a literary classic in 3 minutes. This week I'm doing Dante's Inferno. Alright, so Dante finds himself alone in a dark wood one day where he encounters the great Roman poet Virgil, who's been sent to give him a tour of hell. Now Dante is both author and protagonist of the Inferno, so you get the feeling he's being a little self-serving when Virgil shows up, because Virgil goes, "Hey Dante, listen, God sent me personally to give you a tour of hell because you're the greatest poet ever and we wanted you to tell the living about it. We want you to be the official poet of hell, and while I'm on the subject, you, sir, are not going to hell." So you're like, okay Dante, we get it, you think very highly of yourself. Virgil leads Dante to the entrance to hell, where the words above the gate read, "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here," and they're online with the dead people, and they get up towards the front of the line, and the guy in charge goes, "Excuse me, you're not dead," and Virgil's got to be like, "It's cool, he's with me," and then the two of them get into hell's vestibule. This is where everyone who lived before Christ has to hang out. It's not their fault, but they didn't believe in God, they're in hell's vestibule. The ambiance is melancholy to say the least. And then the two of them get into the first levels of hell, and the greatest thing about the Inferno is that hell is divided into 9 circles of increasing severity, which means that even the concept of eternal suffering has some bureaucracy to it. So the first 2 circles are for dissipators and the disloyal, and they don't actually seem that bad. There's one level where everyone is lying on the ground, being sad all the time, and that's the whole thing. So eventually Dante and Virgil get into the 3rd and 4th levels of hell. Shit starts to get more intense. There's one level where it's raining fire all the time. There's one level where you're constantly being tortured by giant snakes. But again, this seems like the sort of stuff that an eternity of would render blasé. You know, I don't know, I've never been tortured by giant snakes for an eternity, but in any case, Dante also keeps running into people he knows, which strikes me as a shitty way of writing your friends into your book. Dante's like, "And then I ran into Steve in the 5th circle, and I went, 'Steve, what are you doing here?' And Steve went, 'Oh, Dante, I'm burning all the time. I wish I hadn't been such a bad guy.'" This happens 3 or 4 times, and Virgil also has to keep vouching on Dante's behalf to various demons and administrators, explaining why a living guy is in hell. Eventually, they get on the back of this man-faced dragon lion named Geryon, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, and he lowers them into the innermost circles of hell, where they encounter some more demons, and Virgil has an altercation with the demons, and they have to run away from the demons, and at this point, the book gets really not funny. It's just super not funny for a good amount of pages, because the lower levels of hell are really intense and painful. People are walking around with their intestines hanging out, holding their own heads in their hands. Everyone's limbless and bleeding and crying and screaming, and it's just so not funny. I have no idea what Dante was thinking, but finally, Virgil and Dante get into the innermost circle of hell, the bottom of hell, and they encounter Lucifer himself. He's a giant form embedded in a block of ice. His torso and his wings tower over Dante and Virgil. He has 3 faces, and each of the faces is constantly chewing a human being. And Virgil explains that the guy in the middle mouth is Judas, and the guys in the left and right mouths are Brutus and Cassius, which I again think is great because of the bureaucracy angle. It's clear that at Dante's time, those men were regarded as the greatest sinners in history, you know? But it also implies that if in the future someone does something worse than Brutus or Cassius say, that one of the side mouths is going to be like, "Alright, well give me that other guy, I'm going to chew him for a while." Alright, so this has been a literary classic in 3 minutes. I'm Alejandro Kolleeny.